Hey folks, this is a new Bodega cooler that I want to show you, and it's not just your standard typical everyday 12 volt cooler. It's got a pretty cool feature on it that I think you're gonna like and enjoy, and the price is pretty good on this thing, guys. So this is the time of year where I get a ton of questions on what type of coolers do I use and do I recommend. And yes, there's Icecos out there that are very good at coolers. They're very expensive coolers, but I have a lot of Bodega coolers. I've recommended them for the past 2 years. They're at a good price point, and I just think they're probably the best bang for your buck in terms of what you get versus what you have to pay for. Now, this cooler right here is a 25 quart cooler, and the standard price is around 360 bucks. Right now on Amazon, it's got a limited time deal for like 270 bucks, and these coolers go on sale all the time, so I don't recommend ever paying full price for them. But right now, looking at this on Amazon, it's around 270 bucks. And guys, Bodega offers a 5-year warranty on their compressors. I believe that's the same as Iceco. Don't quote me on that, but 5-year warranty on compressors is pretty good. It's got a 1-year warranty on everything else on it, but you know, typically when something fails on these coolers, it's the compressor. And Bodega's been around. They're not just some no-name brand that's gonna be gone in a year. So having that 5-year warranty is a pretty good peace of mind, I think, especially for the price you're paying for these. The super cool thing about this cooler is, yes, it runs off a 12 volt cigarette style. It runs off of AC grid power. But if you've got one of these, or even one of these bigger 60 volt DeWalt batteries, you can use these batteries on these tools to run this cooler. They just simply plug in the little lid right here, and you're good to go. So let's kind of dive in a little bit further, and I'll show you how these batteries work with it, look at the run times, make sure this cooler works, and then we'll come back and I'll let you know what I really think about this cooler, because I will be using this on my other channel, and I'll show you folks how it works out in the wild and if I really do like it. But so far in the testing here in the shop, this has done great. But let's go check out how these batteries work so you can get a better idea of why I think this cooler is pretty cool. So let's get through all the boring stuff first, guys, because this really is a pretty cool little cooler. Again, it's 25 quart cooler. And it's a really good size to throw in the back of your truck. It's not overly huge. It's 22 inches wide. You're looking at around 16 inches tall and about 13 inches deep. So you open it up and you do have a little metal chain here. You have a light that'll cut on once I provide power to this, which is nice. So this thing does light up. And interior dimensions, if you're interested, is approximately 11 inches tall by 12 inches deep by 9 3/4 inches front to back. So pretty good amount of space. You're gonna be able to fit at least a 12 pack and a couple of mils in here without any problem. So where most of the magic happens is right here in this cover, and you open this up, and this comes shipped with these little adapters, and it says suitable for DeWalt. And they're little battery adapters, and so you can take any of your 20 volt DeWalt batteries and they slide in here just like this, and I'll get you a closer up view. And then this slides in. There's a couple of pins in here that essentially lets you run the cooler off of these DeWalt batteries. But I want to show you folks how much power it uses, just so you can kind of get an idea, because runtime, I know I'm going to get questions, or how long is the runtime running batteries like this? Well, this is a 5 amp hour, 20 volt battery. You can use, if you've got the flex volt batteries, I'll show you, it does work on the flex volts. It's not going to work on the 12 volt batteries. You have to use the 20 volt DeWalt batteries for this system to work. This system uses, I'm gonna plug it into actual AC right now so you can see how much power this thing takes on startup. And I'm going to set it down to 20 degrees. I'm on Eco, we can change that. Now I'm on max. And let's move over here. So that cooler is pulling 72, 73 watts. Again, on max. Okay, hopefully you got a good angle. I'm gonna unplug it from my power station. Completely turned off. We're gonna open this lid up, and I'm gonna start with 2 of these DeWalt 5 amp hour batteries. So you plug one in there, and you can plug one in here. We're gonna hit power. And what's really cool, what I like, is it's got a battery gauge for each battery right here on the screen. So it's showing one battery's at 19.9 volts, one battery's at 20 volts. So basically both are completely full. And it does have a little battery gauge, little indicator right here with bars to kind of give you an idea of where you stand in terms of capacity. Now I can take this one out and the cooler still runs with one battery, but I can plug in the 60 volt and it's going to detect that battery here in just a second. So this battery is currently at 18.5 volts and it's only giving me 2 bars worth of capacity. And that's pretty accurate because if I take this out and show you, I only have 2 bars on that battery. So this is not fully charged and this cooler knows it. When I plug it back in, it's not gonna give me the full bars, so it'll detect, obviously again, it's only showing me 2 bars right here. I have a lot of DeWalt tools, so I have a lot of these batteries laying around, and you can buy these batteries, the best time to buy these batteries, guys, is right after Christmas at Home Depot. They always have major sales going on for like a 2-pack or a 4-pack of these batteries right after Christmas, and that's when I stock up on all of my DeWalt batteries and Ryobi batteries for that matter. Always get the best price right after Christmas. But I'm gonna take this battery out and you can see I'm only running 1 battery now. Cooler is still on. That compressor just kicked on. So it runs just fine. Now this will not charge these batteries. If I plug this into AC, which I just did, you can't really see it, it prioritizes the AC side even if you have batteries plugged in. It's not going to charge these batteries, so just keep that in mind. You can't go plug in dead batteries, charge it up to the AC, and it's not gonna charge these batteries. So I'm gonna go back and unplug it from the side, and it's gonna cut off the AC side and then switch back over to operating off the battery. So 2 of these big 60-volt batteries will not fit, only 1, and it appears about the 5 amp hour is about the max size that I can squeeze in with that 60-volt max battery. So keep that in mind. I don't think it's gonna work with like one of the bigger amp hour battery packs from DeWalt. It looks like the 60-volt. This is a 6 amp hour battery, and the 5 amp hour 20-volt is about the biggest you can fit both in here. So just a pretty cool little feature. And then you can see hopefully that light that cuts on right here. So I'm gonna take out this big 60 volt. I'm gonna put in my 5 volt battery. So I have 2 basically fully charged 5 amp hour 20 volt batteries. They're both showing 19.9, 19.8 volts. So they're basically charged. I'm gonna set this down to what I would use it at, 33-ish degrees. I'm gonna put my thermometer in there. Right now it's 63 degrees inside. I'm just gonna set it down right here. And it is currently 10:30 in the morning, 10:30 a.m. So I'm gonna try to do a runtime test. I might miss it. This might cut off in the middle of the night and I won't ever, see it until the next morning, tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna see how long these 5 amp hour batteries will run, and I'm gonna come in here periodically and open and close this lid to let some of the cold air out like you would be using on a regular, camping trip, or using this cooler as you should. You're gonna be getting in here and getting things out, letting out the cold air. So I'm gonna do that several times during this test, but we'll try to see how long these 5 amp hour batteries actually last, set to 35 degrees. Pretty cool stuff here, guys. It is only 10:50 now. This is reading 35 degrees. My temperature little sensor is showing 36 degrees. That's a pretty fast cool down. It hasn't even been, it's been 20 minutes and this was at 65 degrees when I put that in. So yeah, the batteries are working fine. We're still sitting at 19.9 volts, 19.5 for the bottom battery, but this cooler does get down to temperature pretty fast. Just a quick update. It is almost 3 o'clock, so we're approaching 4.5 hours. I got the app up, which this does have an app, of course, and it's showing the internal temperature of 35, and it's real easy to change the temperature on these things. You just move this little slider button around, but I'm gonna keep it at 35 where we had it. And you can see here that it looks like this cooler uses 1 battery, depletes it, and then moves to the next battery. It's not taking both batteries and combining them in parallel. So my first battery is sitting now at 17.5 volts. It's got 2 bars left. And my other battery is still at a full charge. So that's what it looks like it is doing. And let's check the internal temperature. And wow, we're actually at 21 degrees, so I'm not sure where that temperature sensor is, but we are quite a bit below that 35 degrees, which in all honesty, I'm not that upset about it, but you do have to worry about potentially freezing items that you don't want to be frozen in here. So again, I have this set for 34 degrees. The thermometer showing 21, but I'm gonna come back a little bit later and see where these batteries are standing at. All right, guys, it is 4 o'clock and one of my batteries is now completely dead. So it took a 5 amp hour, 20 volt battery, about 4.5 hours to completely deplete. We are now on the second battery and we are still going strong, and this is still holding at 23 degrees. So if my math is right, this is the exact same battery over here that's now running and is at 19.6 volts. So we should get another at least 4 hours. So that in turn leads me to believe that you can probably get between 8 to 10 hours of runtime off of two 5 amp DeWalt batteries. All right, folks, it's 6:30. So this has been going for about 8 hours and we are sitting at 17.9 volts on my last battery with 2 little bars left. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video before it shuts off when the kids get back and I lose track of time. So I'm betting that we could probably get 10 hours of runtime off of two 5 amp hour DeWalt batteries. Now, this is gonna vary greatly depending on your temperature settings. I have this cooler on max setting also, which is gonna pull more juice from those batteries. And these DeWalt batteries are about 3 years old, so they're not the freshest DeWalt batteries either. So I think you could probably get a little bit better runtime with newer batteries and potentially not keeping the cooler as cold, which obviously you don't have to because the internal temperature seems to be quite a bit colder than what the LCD screen is set to. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, I think it's pretty cool that I can get between 8 and 10 hours off of 3-year-old DeWalt batteries running this cooler. So, all right, well, there you have it, folks. The cooler did great. The only thing that was kind of weird about it is that it was actually colder than what the monitor, the LCD screen was telling me. I honestly don't have a problem with that because typically when in the summertime it's hot outside, you need these coolers to get cold, and a lot of my coolers don't get down to temperature that LCD screen is showing. So it does get down to temperature really quickly. It stays cold. Running some 3-year-old DeWalt batteries got me between 8 and 10 hours. So imagine if you had fresh batteries, good batteries, you probably get 10 to 12 hours depending on the setting and how many times you open and close it, of course. But overall, the construction on this thing is great. It's got a handle. I don't even know if I showed that to you folks. You can wheel it around. The wheels are a bit okay. They're small, but they are rubber. They're not plastic, so it's got a rubber wheel on it. But I just think it's a good cooler. I like the size of it. It fits in the back of my truck really easily. I don't really like these huge giant coolers, especially for me going out by myself. So these little 25 and 21 quart coolers are the perfect size for me. And the 5-year warranty on the compressor, guys, that's a pretty good peace of mind if something does go wrong with it. And like I said at the beginning, Bodega's been around for a while. I think they're the #1 rated seller on Amazon for 12 volt coolers. So I don't think they're gonna be going anywhere. But guys, I'll leave a link for this cooler in the description below if you want to check it out. And again, don't buy it at full price. These things go on sale all the time if you like this cooler. That's my only recommendation is wait for it to go on sale. But I just think it's a good cooler, guys. So you will be seeing this on my other main channel probably this week. I kind of plan on taking this out with me to put us through its paces with the DeWalt batteries to make sure that it works as it should out on a real trip. So gang, thanks for watching and we will see you soon. Take care.